The Spirit Charmer anime is finally here, and in all honesty, I think it's a lot better than the previous Card Game Chronicles episodes. So yeah, episode 1 of this series, Eria the Water Charmer, coming in at about 7 minutes with credits, so about 6 minutes of animation, begins with a scene where we see all 4 of the original Spirit Charmers casting the Grand Spiritual Art Ichirin, with a bit of a focus on Eria, which then leads us to the title screen and then the actual episode. So everything begins when Eria finds a grimoire in the archives, and apparently she is the only one who can read it. But I really do like this moment because we get a bit more characterization of each of the Charmers, getting to see a bit of their personalities. Of course, obviously the voice acting is great here, and obviously from the first episode their characters are a bit basic, but they're all different enough and pretty well established, sort of falling into tropes that make it a little easier to understand, and I think that is exactly what we needed here to get things started. So Eria is the only one who's able to actually read the grimoire, and so she leads them in setting up the magic circle to start the Grand Spiritual Art, and they all attempt to try it. Their familiars are also there as well, and they just kind of act like Pokemon. Very interesting, we got to see the character sheets as they were posted on social media, and the one for Gigabyte is a bit more anthropomorphized than we're used to. Everybody was kind of just joking that it looks like Blue Agumon. Though he looks okay, I could totally see how he goes from being this to looking like Gigabyte later on. So yeah, they try performing the Grand Spiritual Art, but they're unable to complete it. But opening up the grimoire again, even more text appears on the page, which tells them they need to offer their prayers to the altar and proceed deeper, even including an image that heavily resembles their familiars. So it seems apparent that this is going to lead them to getting their familiars powered up, and they'll become their familiar possessed forms or something like that. A bit of mystery here and building things up, though we sorta know generally where it's gonna lead, and especially as all their familiars suddenly know exactly where to go, so they follow them toward a temple. And for the most part, the episode kinda splits things evenly for all the characters, because they are a group and everybody does want to see them all, so maybe each episode we're just gonna get it named after each one of the monsters, though I will say there is a bit more of a focus on Eria. Again, she was the one who found the grimoire and is kinda leading everybody else, and we see that she has a good amount of knowledge, she has a good amount of preparedness, and is very much somebody who likes to follow procedures, rules, or just have things organized, as we see that she's even leaving a trail so that they could find their way back home. Though when Aussa gets scared by a monster and runs off, that leads the rest of them even deeper into the temple, leading to some hijinks where they all run and fall into this one room that has the altar, and that is where everybody else decides to offer their prayers. Though we do also see where Eria is able to learn from her friends and maybe grow in a way, because all of them being a little more energetic and maybe not necessarily looking like they're taking things too seriously, are very quick to offer their prayers, basically just asking for things that they want. Where Hiita wants to be the strongest, Wynn wants adventure and freedom, and also wants to gain even more knowledge of spells. Eria, sort of going along with this, admits that she wants some sweets, which I think is really funny, but that is actually not to open up the door to the rest of the temple, and we end off the episode with even more text being added to the grimoire telling that there are trials they have to face. So now we have an idea of what the next 3 episodes are going to be like. They're going to continue on through this temple, be met with even more challenges, and then maybe every charmer helps everybody understand how they're able to overcome that trial, eventually leading to the end where they cast the Grand Spiritual Art and their monsters get upgraded or something. So overall, I actually really did like this one. I think it was kind of a little better done than the others, in the sense that I feel like this sort of format just works a lot better for the Spirit Charmers. The Sky Striker episodes really didn't work because they were way too short and really needed a lot more. They really needed to focus on the action and the story and really drive home the relationship between Rose and Ray in order to actually give it some sort of impact, and it felt especially bad because we know there is already an established story between the two, and while I did enjoy The Fallen and Virtuous, we know that that one is supposed to be a huge epic story that travels a world and has so many characters. So trying to condense all of those into these shorts makes them feel a little more promotion-like. Meanwhile, here with the Spirit Charmers, while there is technically some sort of lore, for the most part, what really made everybody endear themselves to the Spirit Charmers was their designs and some of the cute interactions that we see in later stuff like all the token card artwork, so presenting them in 6-minute shorts that have a focus on cute character interactions and some comedy is honestly the perfect choice, because conceptually, due to the cards we've gotten over the years, we know generally what might happen, but this isn't a huge epic story with dire stakes that really needed a lot of time and animation to work well. This is a lot more akin to a magical comedy slice of life, which with the voice actresses' performances and the character animation you're able to do in a short amount of time. And again, Spirit Charmers are a fan favorite group of monsters, so again, really delivering on why people are a fan of them is a great idea here. While I still would really love all the Chronicles episodes to be even longer, I'm just saying that when it comes to a 6-minute web animation, the Spirit Charmers are a much better fit than Sky Strikers and Fallen and Virtuous. I will say though, also what's happened this week is that they started posting the episodes on the English YouTube channel for Yugioh, which I didn't really expect there to be an English dub, but I thought maybe it would just be a version with the subtitles hard baked into the video, but it turns out they're the exact same ones that are on the Japanese channel. You still just turn on the subtitles with the settings on YouTube, and they did it so they can catch up this week and post this one, not too long after the Japanese one was posted, but still the views really pale in comparison to the original. I can only hope that this really does lead to more exposure, though for some reason the European channel has a lot more views for the Spirit Charmers at least, despite the fact that it has less subscribers. Well, anyway, I don't know, weirdness aside, like I said, they're just posting the same thing on every channel, and it isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as more people actually watch it. So let me know what you think of this episode, if you're excited for even more, where you think the story is going to lead, and tell me which Spirit Charmer is your favorite now that we actually get to understand what their personalities are beyond the card artwork. Anyway, this is Gatorex, and I will catch you all later.